And we are back. Thanks for sticking around. We're coming to you here from the ESL CM Storm Arena at the Gamescom 2012. And we got something that I'm pretty excited about because I've been looking forward to this all day, and that's Neverwinter. Now, in order to go have a look at Neverwinter, I've invited one of my very close friends, a guy called Craig, coming up from Craig's studio. Craig, big round of applause for Craig, please. Coming all the way out to have a look at us today. Clapping hands, wonderful. You have waited a long time, and we roar together. This is very good. Craig, how are you doing?
I'm doing okay. A little late, a little technical difficulty with the internet, but...
The wonderful world that we live in, sometimes it lets us down. But then again, we're here now, we're ready to show you something very cool. So we've also got Dean here who's going to be doing some driving for us today. And Dean's going to take us through and let us have a look at stuff. And I believe, if we're lucky, it'll appear as if by magic above my head. So you guys can now see exactly what we're seeing, and Craig can take us through this.
So Dean's jumping in and really quick creating a character so we can actually take a look at what's going on in the game. So Neverwinter, obviously a Dungeons & Dragons game set in the Forgotten Realms campaign setting. Dean here is playing the demo, the competition that's right here in the ESL booth, and he'll show you some of the combat that's in the game.
And just for you guys that are sitting here in the audience, when you guys are done watching this fantastic show, you can win some of these fantastic prizes right here, right across the way. So there's no excuse for not getting over and getting your hands on some sweet-ass action right there.
So Dean is in here playing as a control wizard. Neverwinter is an action MMORPG. Full open world content, all of the open world quests, the team instances that you would expect, raids, contests, events that you would expect in a game. But Cryptic Studios, we've been making MMOs for almost 10 years now, and we're getting kind of tired of the tab, target, 1, 2, 3, wait for recharge. And we really wanted to get kind of a console action RPG gameplay into that world. So you see, the first thing that you're going to notice is that Dean's targeting things not by hitting tab, but actually where his cursor is pointing. So this is a third-person action control scheme. His most basic attacks are mapped to his left and right mouse button, and he's whoa, he's getting out of the way of the knoll there.
This guy's kind of mean and big. I'd run back.
Exactly, and that's another thing about the action combat. It's not just about the the control scheme or faster recharges. It's really about being able to react to what's going on. So you can see that there are continually different sorts of encounters that you have to strategize and figure out how to get into. And then some of the enemies
develop your play of who you take on first in order to be successful in a battle.
Exactly, and each encounter ends up changing. So the things that you decide to do with this encounter, you're going to have to think again with the next encounter that happens.
So that'll create a lot of variety in the gameplay, so that you're constantly kind of changing that up in the way that you get stuck in.
Definitely, you're not fighting one mob at a time and that same mob over and over again. You're fighting groups of guys, and you really have to work with your team to figure out how you're going to take them on.
Awesome. Seeing here, it's a more ranged attack he's taking, and he's not getting in too up close and personal here.
Yeah, exactly. Dean is playing, as I said, as a control wizard, which is one of the ranged classes in Neverwinter, and he's got magic missile and ray of frost that can actually hold and freeze enemies eventually. And now Dean's going to want to jump out of the way so he can actually avoid attacks in the game. So it's a very reactive and exciting and invigorating combat experience in Neverwinter.
So where's Dean going right now? He's entering into or exiting into some sort of...
He's actually in Black Dagger Keep, which is one of the end events in one of our adventure zones. Okay. As I was saying, Neverwinter is a full open-world MMORPG. So you have your open-world quests, but you also have your 5-man dungeons and events and contests there. And so Dean's storming the keep right at the end of Black Dagger. And you can see he's using his kind of secondary powers, those 3 right in the bottom there, the Q, E, and R. Those are his encounter powers. They're more like standard MMO powers with like a 6 or 12-second cooldown, but they really outline and complete the role that Dean is playing as a control wizard.
But at the same time, he's got to manage those weapons and use them to his advantage, because they're not just something he can fire at will whenever he feels like it.
Exactly. He's got his at-wills, and he can do that with them, but with the encounters, he's really got to strategize a little bit more. And he's playing his role with them, so he's using, like, Chill Strike there, he's using Bigsby's Grasp in order to kind of control the encounters. And something that's really interesting, at least to me, about the control scheme, about the combat, is that it's not your standard MMO. It's a control class, right? And in a normal MMO, you're worried about big AoE powers, waiting for it to come back. With this game, a CC class like this can actually have single target control powers. And you can see Dean having to bounce between and juggle his enemies to make sure that, you know, his gameplay is as exciting and visceral as like a trickster rogue who's doing awesome DPS.
Brilliant. And so now he's working his way through here. What's spurring him on? Because I'm seeing that he's kind of following a path that he's taking himself on.
So one of the things that we want to do is we want to make sure that, you know, the gameplay is deep, the gameplay is really exciting, but the game is also accessible. Nobody really wants to, like, worry about where they're going to go next. And so if you want, it's optional. We have this path that shows you the way through the, you know, where you're supposed to go next, what are you supposed to do, where's the next quest objective.
So basically, he's chosen a quest, and now he's making his way to find that objective.
Exactly.
Sounds very useful. I've spent some time lost in some games.
Right, and that's actually not fun at all. You know, maps do some things, but being able to actually see where you go. But if you're a hardcore player and you hate that and you don't want that sort of help, you just turn it off.
Turn that off.
Yeah.
It's always nice to have options.
So here we go. We're fighting Captain Traven Blackdagger, which is the boss at the end of this demo.
This guy looks fierce.
Yeah. And maybe we'll be able to see, you know, Dean's daily powers. So we talked about the at-wills a little bit. We talked about the encounter powers. But you can see right in the middle there that orange D20 filling up. Yeah. As Dean plays as a control wizard, he's gaining action points. And if he doesn't finish Traven Blackdagger off, he can actually use one of his daily powers to really, you know, save his party, save himself at the very end of a dungeon.
So now this guy's spawned some minions of his that are going to come and attack and get involved in it.
Exactly. You can see that big, huge alpha strike that Traven has, and these areas that you have to get out of the way. Each class has a utility power, which allows them to kind of avoid and react to combat. So the control wizard has that small teleport. Ooh, we got the daily going. There we go.
Very nice.
So each class has that utility power that can get out of the way. For the control wizards, it's that teleport. Trickster Rogue's going to roll. The Guardian Fighter actually blocks with his shield to mitigate that damage.
So what's next on the agenda after having this moment of the game?
So in terms of development of the game?
No, I mean, if I'm playing this game, as Dean is so kindly for us now, what's spurring me on? Where am I going now on my adventure?
Well, this is a demo for the ESL competition, so we're pretty much done at this point in time of the gameplay.
So victory is his, so to speak.
Yes, exactly.
Well done, Dean. Well done. It's a good segue into that. So guys, what is really important for you to know is for the people that are at home, we want to send you over to playneverwinter.com, because there you'll get a chance to get stuck in and get hands-on with the game. But of course, for the people that are here in the audience, if you like the look of what I'm poking at right here, you'll get a chance to win this stuff if you cross right outside here and get involved with the game here on the ESL exclusives. You can get stuck in right there. What's next?
What's next? I think we're going to try to get ourselves into one of the other maps in the game to show you some stuff.
So right now we're going to get ourselves into another map, get another feature of the game to show you some more action.
We got a German keyboard.
Keyboards, different languages, it's not the same everywhere.
Oh. So give yourself an access level. But let me tell you a little bit about the setting while Dean ends up trying to get in there and trying to figure out what's going on. We're in the Forgotten Realms. Dungeons & Dragons Neverwinter is a Forgotten Realms game set in the 4th edition timeline. So Forgotten Realms is pretty much, you know, the best, the favorite, the fan favorite setting for Dungeons and Dragons. Games like Baldur's Gate, I'm sure you've heard of that. Neverwinter Nights,
Indeed.
Neverwinter Nights 2, all of the R.A. Salvatore best-selling novels, all of those take place in the Forgotten Realms.
Who out here is a Dungeons and Dragons fan? Just by show of hands, guys. So you're sitting here. I'm liking the look of these people over here. Well done. Well done for coming out.
RD.
So we're just setting up here. But okay, so telling me more about the environment that you were saying. It's set in the world, and this is something which the fans have been really vocal about wanting to play in.
Definitely. So it's set in that Forgotten Realms. If you've read those novels, the campaign setting, you know what's going on. Okay, so Dean's in another one of our adventure zones. As I said, full open world MMORPG, and Dean's running around in the Tower District.
Okay.
This is part of the Neverwinter city that was destroyed when, about 30 years ago in gameplay time, Mount Hope-No erupted and destroyed sections of the city.
Just took everything away.
Just really took everything away. Massive the chasms opened up, sections of the city fell in, foul spawn and creatures from the Underdark came out and invaded the city. And so Dean's running through a section of the city that has been overtaken by the Many Arrows Orc tribe. If anybody knows the lore, that's going to be something that they're going to notice. That's going to be part of Neverwinter that people know. And so they've taken over, they've set up camp here, and then Lord Neverember, who came up from Waterdeep, which is a town along the Sword Coast, about 10 years ago, and proclaimed himself Lord Protector of Neverwinter, brought his army, brought all his gold, and is set about to rebuild the city and to make it really reclaim that title, Jewel of the North again. And so he's put out a call to all adventurers, all heroes along the Sword Coast and, in the Savage North to come and really help him rebuild the city back to its past glory. And so that's who the player is here. That's what Dean is doing. Dean is going through the River District and helping clean out the Orc menace, deal with them, free some of Neverember's guards who have been attacked.
He seems to be getting stuck in here and doing a good job.
Yeah.
So what was the power he just used there? He set something down and kind of fired on them.
I didn't actually see which one he used. Did he end up telling?
We'll see what he brings out next.
So he's got his daily ready.
Oh,
the little teleport?
Exactly.
That's getting out of the way. That's reacting. So
that's not something he can use constantly. He needs to manage that again.
No, he definitely needs to manage that. And that's really something that is new to MMOs. There are a lot of MMOs out there that are doing action combat, but it's not just about the control scheme. It's not just about the how fast they recharge. It's about being able to react. It's about playing your role, and that's really what we're trying to do in Neverwinter. So as I said, we're in one of the adventure zones, and open world quests, dungeons, raids, events, but of course, with the legacy of Neverwinter Nights and Neverwinter Nights 2, there's no way for us to make a Neverwinter game without having user-generated content.
Awesome.
Yeah, so we have what we call at Cryptic Studios the Foundry, and this allows players to get in, use editors, make content that is as compelling, as powerful as the content that we end up making. And one of the things that's really...
That's pretty unique to open that up and let them get involved like that.
Definitely. For an MMO, extremely unique. One of the things that we've done to really make it, to get that content in and to make it part of the world is with Neverwinter Nights and Neverwinter Nights 2, you could make content and share it, but you'd have to download a mod and have the right version and maybe set up your own server. But in Neverwinter, authors can actually tag doors, objects, and NPCs in the world as quest givers and objectives. And so that you could be playing content that Cryptic made, and then I could be playing content that is user-generated content right beside you.
Wow. So again, that kind of opens up for a lot of scope for people to really get involved and really get deeper into the game and have the experience that they're looking for.
Exactly. The Dungeons and Dragons community loves it. It's huge, very, very passionate. I know because it's where I come from, and to be able to get into a world that has, you know, hundreds and hundreds of thousands of players, and to be able to add your stories, any quest that you've thought of, into the Forgotten Realms, into Neverwinter is something that I personally find extremely compelling and awesome.
And I just think that that opportunity to really be a part of it and create the universe and shape the universe is such a unique thing that it really is special and a very exciting feature to be included in such a level.
I think Dungeon Masters have been doing it for years and years, and now we're giving them a platform of tools and the players and the ability to connect with the players in a way that they haven't been able to yet.
Brilliant.
So Dean, go ahead.
Yeah, so where's Dean going now? He's now in kind of what seems like more of a corridor that he's coming down.
This is open world, so if we weren't all alone on a server by ourselves, there would be dozens and dozens of other players here that Dean could team up with. Now, there's open world quests like this. He's going to have to fight and avoid that ogre. But there are also, you know, team instances where you can go in. I mean, it's Dungeons and Dragons. You can't have Neverwinter without dungeons, right?
Exactly. So he's just taken down this guy. So what will be the next thing for him here to go on to follow down, go out and battle with these guys?
So Dean is moving through the world, just doing some of the quests that exist in the River District here.
Basically cleaning up, getting rid of the scum and villainy.
Yes, he's definitely cleaning up. But there's tons of different content that's available in Neverwinter. You can see in the upper right by the mini-map there are actually contests and events that are ready to fire off, ready for Dean to like set reminders within the game to compete in that contest, to see that event.
Now, sometimes I'm seeing things falling off when he's killed somebody, and I'm imagining some of it's loot, some of it's other stuff. But he's not always picking that up. Is there a choice behind that?
I think Dean is being a responsible demo driver. It's very, very hard. He's spent days trying to resist picking up every single piece of loot.
See, that would be impossible for me because I'm a hoarder and I'm running around collecting every last.
It's why I'm not playing.
We're very similar in that sense, then. I can see the fires burning down there. That's just a camp of people that are down there, or how does that feature in?
So there is environmental damage. You do have to take care of where you go. You definitely have to have tricks and traps in any Dungeons and Dragons game. So looking out, you know, around dark corridors when you're in the dungeon, or looking out for like ambush spawns, that stuff exists in Neverwinter.
Creating that element of suspense that I know the guys really enjoy playing with because it makes you so much more immersed in the game.
Exactly. Dungeons and Dragons just isn't about combat. It's about, you know, being in the world. It's about the story. It's about, you know, tricks and picking locks, and all of that exists in the Neverwinter game.
Thank you, Dean, for picking that up.
Now he's going to pick up the loot for you.
So what was the move that he used there? Because that looked like quite an interesting one. He seemed to freeze the guy and then pull himself back again.
Exactly. So he's avoiding damage and then playing as a control wizard. So we talked about the powers a little bit earlier on the power bar down there. We have the 2 at-wills, the 3 encounter powers.
Which have now just come back online, if I'm correct, yeah.
Exactly. They just have recharges between like 6 and 15 seconds. And then his daily powers that exist there. He has access to 7 powers at any given time. Obviously, as he levels up, he gains access to more and more powers that he can choose from.
And of course, level those powers up and develop them in.
Exactly. So an entire feat system that allows him to spec his character out. He can choose a Paragon path to further define what his role is. And then, depending on what he feels like, who he's playing with, what enemies he's going up against, he can spec out what build he is actually using, because none of his powers end up being useless.
But so at the same time, he could say, I'm going to play somebody that would maybe be a up-close and personal character, but choose to play them more as a ranged character because he'll develop those weapons. So you can really almost go the entire direction you want to go.
Well, you definitely pick you pick a build, you pick a class build, and we really encourage you to play that role. If he wants to be up close and personal, he's gonna choose a trickster rogue that has super high DPS and stealth and can teleport behind enemies. He could pick a guardian fighter that tanks and does significant damage, or a great weapon fighter with a huge two-handed axe. So all sorts of builds and classes will be available for Neverwinter at launch, and so you'll be able to pick and choose what you want.
And really find something that chooses the way that you want to play the game.
Exactly. Choose the way that you want to play and customize your character the way you want it to be. And then be able to get into the world with the Foundry and actually add content, customize it that way too.
So now he's completed another quest here, as I understand. Is that correct?
I'm sorry?
What's happened now in the game?
Oh, I think Dean's just standing there with a pretty screenshot behind.
Very nice,
so
very nice indeed.
This is the Tower District. This is the Fallen Tower Tavern that was destroyed in a freak accident with a set of mages who were working there. And you can go in and actually watch them almost recreate and reenact their deaths for eternity. It's something that's in the D&D lore, and it's something that we just had to put in the game. So if you're really deep and really excited about the lore, then you're going to be able to go there and see all of those things.
Super. So should we start up another map for the guys and show some more of the game?
I think Dean's trying to go to Protector's Enclave. You saw the map there, the overworld map, really hearkening back to those other RPGs that have that overworld map. When you exit a zone, you choose where you're going to go next. This is Protector's Enclave. This is really the social hub of the game, where the marketplace is, the auction house. You have the Moonstone Mask hovering up there, which is a very famous tavern that existed in the other games. And so you can go there and dance with your guildies.
And so when I'm walking around here and I'm playing in the game, what would I expect to find in here? Quest givers, other players, what would be happening for me?
There's all sorts of stuff in here. You're going to find quest givers. You're going to find the core storyline, which we call the Crown of Neverwinter, which is all about Valindra the Lich and what her evil plans are for the city of Neverwinter and the areas around.
Where's Dean taking us now?
Excuse me?
Where's Dean taking us now? Where are we
Dean is taking us up to the Hall of Justice, which is where Lord Neverember sits and rules, where the army is, where his core base is. And so this is where a lot of the quest givers in the initial and main storyline for the game exist. But throughout, you're going to end up going to many different places. Neverwinter is a gigantic city. There are many open world MMO zones within Neverwinter, like the Tower District. There's the Graveyard, there's the Chasm that'll exist, and there are many zones outside of Neverwinter in the environs. You'll be going to the Neverwinter Woods, Helmshold, and other zones outside of Neverwinter.
Looks absolutely phenomenal. The game looks beautiful.
That is our goal. That's really what we're trying to do. Neverwinter is entirely free to play. Free to download, free to level up. It's not get to level 20 and then pay us to keep going.
Important to mention that it's playneverwinter.com at that moment for the guys to get out and get stuck in.
Nice. Playneverwinter.com.
Playneverwinter.com. You guys need to get it and get stuck in. But now I see that he's going down. Tell me a little bit about the style that we're looking at here, because this looks like quite almost like a...
Well, we're really trying to get the, what D&D feels like inside your head, that kind of realistic and yet high fantasy style of the game. And we're really trying to get graphics to a quality level that when users play this, when they get into this free-to-play game and they see the Dungeons and Dragons setting, the quality of the artwork, the innovative combat, all the content, the Foundry system, that they just can't believe that it's free to play. That's our goal.
Brilliant, brilliant. Well, what I'd say now is we open it up to the guys that have sat here and enjoyed this and seen what we've brought today, and maybe field a couple of questions. How does that sound?
Awesome.
So if I come down and see anybody, showman, who'd like to ask some questions about what they've just seen? You, good sir, why don't you come and meet me here in the battlefield? Excuse me as we pass through. What's your name, sir? Christian. Very nice to meet you, Christian. Where are you from?
Germany, Cologne.
Germany, Cologne. Lovely. So Christian, I'm gonna open you up. Have a chat. What would you like to ask?
How many people can join the server at once?
There will be thousands and thousands of people on the server. Cryptic Studios, all of our MMOs have one server, so everybody who is playing is on that shard.
Okay guys, please come forward. Hey, how you doing?
I'm Jacob, yeah. My question was, you said it was going to be free to play and free to download. So what kind of microtransactions will you have to fund the game?
So there are going to be microtransactions in the game, and one of the questions that people ask me is it going to be pay to win? That doesn't work. Nobody wants to play a pay-to-win game, and so we're not selling power. What we're doing is selling cosmetic items, convenience items that'll really enhance the fans, the enthusiasts of the game. It's like, get into a game like this, get extremely excited about the quality of the game and the world and the foundry and everything that it adds, and then players, want to join, want to invest. Nobody complains about spending $100 on a collector's edition, right? It's because you want to, and that's what we're looking for with Neverwinter. It's want to buy, not need to buy.
Well, I have one more question. You talked about that players can add content to the game.
Yes.
How does that work specifically? Is there an editor, or how do you add to the game?
So there's an extremely robust editor that allows you to have branching dialogues, branching objectives, many different quests and maps. You can even edit your maps, build them all into a campaign, and then add that into the world. Use the doors and the objects that exist as part of your quest so that you can play along with everybody else.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay guys, who's next? Who's else got a question that they'd like to ask about what you've just seen here? Please step forward or forever hold your peace. You good sir. What's your name?
Fabian, I have a question to the endgame content of Neverwinter. Is this more about dungeon groups and raid groups, or more a solo farming game like Diablo 3 or something like this?
So there's definitely your 5-man dungeons with uber loot at the end game, but there's also a very, very complex and full PvP system with arena maps and open world PvP. So all of those competitive things that really end up driving the game, and all the ESL fans are going to be in Neverwinter when it launches.
Okay, thank you.
Anybody else guys over here? Questions for the Neverwinter guys? Stand up, forever hold your peace. This is your moment. You just asked them to give you money. No? We're good, we're set. Let's head back up. So Craig, we've seen some pretty neat stuff going on here and some cool features about the game. We've got to walk around in some different groups, but what else other than sending the guys over to playneverwinter.com would you like to share with the guys at home today?
So definitely go to the website, register for the closed beta.
We cannot stress that enough. Get over to playneverwinter.com and get sorted out and get stuck in.
The dev team is like pouring their hearts into this, extremely excited about getting this out to you guys, getting your feedback, playing the game. Whenever anybody plays the action combat, they're just really blown away by what's going on. So, register for the closed beta, do the competition at the ESL booth here and win some gear.
The guys, I know that you all would like some of this stuff, right? Definitely, I can see that wakes you up immediately. If you want some of this, you just need to walk through those lovely curtains, and on the other side you can play this game and get your hands on this sweet loot. So, I don't know, I would be thinking about it. So guys, both of you have done an absolutely phenomenal job, and we've enjoyed having you here on the ESL
Thank you very much.
Arena. And I guess there's nothing more to say than really thank you from everybody
Thanks
here and all the guys watching at home. Dean, thank you for being a great driver.
Nice driving, Dean.
And we'll, of course, look forward to hearing more and seeing more about Neverwinter.
Yep.
And in the meantime, get over to playneverwinter.com and get sorted out. Craig, Dean, thank you very, very much.
Thank you.
And we'll say goodbye. Round of applause, please.